The Honorable Chief Justice and Associate Justices of the Supreme Court.
The House will come to order.
The Senate will come to order.
Next on our agenda is House Bill 1045. Representative Hutchinson, you're recognized to present House Bill 1045, and I believe there's a physical impact study in your package, members.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're having a big vote across the hall in education, and I was instructed to come over here and return as quickly as possible before they vote on the issue. So I appreciate you letting me perhaps come out of order. Good morning, committee members. With your copy of my bill, you'll find a letter from Circuit Court Judge William Story describing a situation in our county. Mr. Owens, while serving in prison, began to file false land claims against those who put him in jail. The victims had to hire attorneys, invest money and time trying to clear their name and to reclaim their good credit rating. This was a burden to the victim, but since the crime's penalty was only a misdemeanor, it had no impact on Mr. Owens' life, the man who was filing the false claims. And it didn't matter how many times Mr. Owens committed this crime, it was still just a misdemeanor. I have other copies of where this was done. Usually it was done out of vengeance against those who help put criminals behind bars. Clearly we need to change the law to prevent this from becoming a pattern in those seeking revenge. House Bill 1045 accomplishes that change. This will protect all citizens by making the second offense a low-level felony. But it also creates a special category for those who make and enforce the law. Filing a false claim against them in this section makes it a Class C felony. The physical impact is minimal. The Arkansas Realtors have endorsed the bill, as other in law enforcement. It's a rather simple bill, but I'll be happy to take any questions.
Thank you for your excellent explanation, Representative Hutchinson. Are there any questions from the committee? Representative Steele, you're recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know why I've got such a short microphone here. Representative Hutchinson, have other states taken similar measures to this?
Well, we are one of the few states that has the penalty as a misdemeanor. All the other states have it already as a felony.
Thank you. Nothing further, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Steele. Mr. Walker, you're recognized.
I don't know if this is a real concern, but I was curious to, with your use of the language, you said the Arkansas Realtors as well as other law enforcement officers. I didn't know that the Arkansas Realtors were law enforcement officers.
Oh, well, I thought the AG was going to have someone here, so.
No, I just want to make sure that we don't ever embrace the notion that the Arkansas Realtors are a law enforcement agency. That's all. But no, nothing
Correction
else.
noted. Thank you.
Thank you for that correction, Representative Walker. Anyone else from the audience, from the committee, have questions? Seeing none, is there anyone in the audience who wants to speak for or against the bill? What's the pleasure of the committee? Representative Rice, you're recognized for a motion.
Motion do pass, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative Rice. Proper motion. Representative Rice has made a motion for passage of House Bill 1045. All those in favor of passing 1045 say aye. All those opposed, no. Congratulations, Representative Hutchinson.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
House Bill 1045 passes.
House Bill 1045 by Representative Hutchinson regarding a person filing instruments affecting title or interest in real property.
Representative Hutchinson, you are recognized to explain your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, fellow legislators. I'd like to tell you the story of Mr. Lance Owens. Mr. Owens was serving time in prison, and while there, he plotted a way to get revenge. He began to file false land claims against those who helped to put him there. The victims of this crime had to hire attorneys, they had to invest money and time trying to clear their name and reclaim their good credit rating. This was a burden on the victims, but the crime was just a misdemeanor, so it had no impact on Mr. Owens' life. And it didn't matter how many times Mr. Owens filed these false claims, it was still just a misdemeanor. I have other examples of people who committed this crime. Out of revenge, it was false. They filed false liens, false land transfers, even false foreclosures. Clearly, we need to change the law to prevent this from becoming a pattern among those seeking revenge. House Bill 1045 accomplishes that. First of all, it will protect all citizens. The second time you knowingly file a false claim, it becomes a low-level felony. Let's say the neighborhood Scrooge gets mad. He files a false claim on his next-door neighbor. That first time will be a misdemeanor. If he files something across the street that's a false land claim, that second time will be a low-level felony. But this bill also creates a special category consisting of those who make the laws, that's us, and those who enforce the laws. Filing a false claim against those in this section makes the crime a Class C felony. The physical impact is minimal. The Arkansas Realtors endorse this bill. The Attorney General's office endorses this bill, and others in law enforcement also endorse this bill. It's a very simple bill, and I would appreciate a good vote. Thank you.
Representative Collins Smith, what purpose? Representative Hutchinson has left well. Members, you've heard an explanation of the bill. Anyone wishing to speak against the bill? For the bill? Representative Hutchinson, are you closed for your bill? I'm sorry, Representative Benedict, what purpose?
I'd like to speak for the bill.
Representative Benedict, you are recognized to come to the well and speak for the bill. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have two reasons for wanting to come speak for this bill. One is before I present one of my own, I want to make sure you can all see me and behind the speaker stand. The second reason is because I've had this done to me. I had a false claim filed against a business of mine, didn't even know that it had been filed, a lien on my property, until I went to have an assessor's report and try to sell the property. Then I found somebody had filed a false claim against it, and there was an impact on it. Yes, there was. So please, this is a good bill. It affects more people than you think. I ask you to vote for Donna's bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Benedict has spoken for the bill. Anyone wishing to speak against the bill? For the bill? Are you closed for your bill, Representative Hutchinson? Representative Hutchinson's closed for the bill. The question for the House, passage of House Bill 1045. Prepare the machine, Mr. Clerk. You're voting on the bill and the emergency clause. Everyone voted? Everyone voted. Cast up the ballot, Mr. Clerk, by a vote of 91 yea, 3 nays, and 1 present. You have passed the bill and the emergency clause.
Members, we have Representative Hutchinson back before us today on House Bill 1045 to concur in Senate amendments. We wanted to let her take care of this so she can get to her other committees. Representative Hutchinson, you are recognized to present your concurrence with House Bill 1045.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, committee members. You voted on this bill twice. I appreciate both times that you voted yes. When we voted on the floor of the House, there was a sheriff in the gallery. He came especially for this bill. He had been, a false lien had been filed against him, but it was filed in the Secretary of State's office. And he came down and let me know that could happen, and asked me to amend the bill, and I said we'd do research, and if that actually was permitted by the law, I would change it on the Senate side. If someone files these in the Secretary of State's office, the ladies there do not know the person. They would not know if it was a false lien or not, whereas your local clerk might know that. So he was right. You can file these at the Secretary of State's office, so it's just added that. I'd appreciate a good vote.
Thank you, Representative Hutchinson. Members, any questions for Representative Hutchinson? Anyone in the audience wants to speak for or against House Bill 1045? Seeing no one, what's the pleasure of the committee? Representative Rice has made a motion of due pass. Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion to pass House Bill 1045 indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Congratulations, Representative Hutchinson. You have concurred in your Senate amendment to House Bill 1045.
Representative Hutchinson recommends that we consider concurring in Senate Amendment Number 1 to House Bill 1045. Read the amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Senate Amendment Number 1 to House Bill 1045.
Representative Hutchinson, you are recognized to explain the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If you recall, we passed 1045 out of the House. This is about making it a felony if they file false claims against law enforcement, us, the Attorney General's staff. We wanted to discourage that type of harassment. There was a sheriff sitting right up there, and afterwards he came down and said he had a false claim filed against him, only the person filed it in the Secretary of State's office, and he wanted me to add either the county clerk's or the Secretary of State's office. So I checked with the law, and sure enough, you can file these land transfers in the Secretary of State's office. And if we realized if they go to the Secretary of State's office, the ladies up there don't know who it is that's filing, and they don't know if it's a false claim. Whereas if these gentlemen go to the county clerk's office, the county clerks do know that it would be a false claim. So I promised him I would add that amendment. We include the Secretary of State's office. The senators approved of it. So I'm asking you just to add the Secretary of State's office to this bill. Thank you.
Members, you've heard an explanation of the amendment. Anyone wishing to speak against the amendment? For the amendment? If not, the question for the House is concurrence in Senate Amendment Number 1 to House Bill 1045. Prepare the machine, Mr. Clerk. Everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Cast up the ballot by a vote of 88 yeas, 0 nays, 0 present. You have concurred in the amendment.